Good morning, everybody. This is Theriton here at Ice Peak Gaming. Welcome to another round of SatisFactory. When we left off last time, we had just finished our first run of assemblers to make basic wire for our upcoming automated wiring plant. So this morning, we are going to be tackling placing the rest of the machines for that, and then trying to figure out how on earth I am going to wire the inputs, as well as how am I going to stick just a few extra machines in here in order to supply not just what the cables down a level need, but what stators will also need for creation, which is a smaller but still significant number. So, without further ado, let's try to get into it. So we have our outputs on that side. We've got our inputs, which is going to be copper ingot and yttrium ingot on this side. And we're going to be doing another round of the same up here. So let's get these going. So just as a reminder as to why I'm using assemblers rather than constructors for the wiring, is that we're going to be using the, fused wiring alternate pattern, I believe it's called. Pull up our wire here. Of course, it was in the autosave in the middle of the time I did it. Right, so this is the one that we're doing, using 4 copper ingot and 1 yttrium ingot to produce 30 wire in the assembler. That's why our choice of machine is a little bit different, but it also cuts down our input levels quite significantly. Instead of being, I think it was originally something like 1400 copper a minute that I needed, I now need a couple of hundred. So it is far more feasible. Get everything there, the right levels. Kind of wondering if I couldn't just turn these around. But I don't think there's actually enough space there. What? Let's find out. If I started by turning these two around, that, and then I snapped a splitter on it. Actually, that might work. So here's the question. 1, 2. It goes blue, which means it's going to work. Awesome. That's going to mean half of the number of conveyors and splitters and wiring that I'm going to have to do. So I'll just tear these back down. I'm glad I bothered to try. I'm just going to have to be careful to make sure that the inputs on those splitters go the right way. It seems when I first place one, after doing these, that it wants to have the input going the other way. And that could be finicky and annoying and such. We use belt 4s just because we'll try to get these done before I leave the area, so I have less finicky back and forth later. Getting there. I suppose the other thing I should be doing here before I leave the area is make sure that I have wired them in. Oh, and there's still one more thing I'm forgetting. One more thing that needs to be done. Copy the setting. Paste the setting as I go so it's already set up for wiring. Okay, so paste the setting, wire the power, place the lifts, and the splitters, and the other lifts, and repeat. Oh. And almost forgot the conveyors. There we go. It doesn't look centered, but apparently it works. At least that is the message that I'm getting from the snapping. So, wired, settings pasted, previous conveyor done. We've got a nice quiet stream this morning, but that's okay. For me, this is first thing in the morning, and I'm still working on my first cup of coffee. So a nice, quiet stream building some factories, for me, is about the right way to start the day. And there we go. That's one run of assemblers done. I just have to repeat the whole thing over here. Oh, and do the output line. Now the output line, I very deliberately do not want to merge with the machines that will be right next to it. As it is, we will need to upgrade those output lines to Mark 5 once we do unlock the aluminum tier, in order to unlock the full potential of this factory and let this Death Star become fully operational. I mean, factory become fully operational. Now, this factory does motors, but I'm actually just going to sneak in here and get some rotors. From one of the sublines. That's enough. I need to do something, but I don't like having to jump up there all the time. Maybe I could make... Okay, I need to snap up here. I can walk there, right? Yes. Go. Ramp it in. I don't care about a little bit of clipping. No, that's going to have to go taller. I'll have to use the stairs instead of the ramp. Because I don't want to have to be bouncing over that intermediate piece all the time. if I double corner it here, I can stairs there. Or I guess I can pull it back by one, and then it doesn't look quite so horrible going into that. There we go. I have justification for next time. Except I can't fit through the door now. That is unfortunate. Oh, but that's a center door. I could make it a side door, maybe? Let's see if that'll work. Will that work? Yes. Still a little bit tight, but at least now I'm not jumping and bouncing around. So we have rotors for our upcoming build of more assemblers. We'll make sure we have more reinforced iron plates for all these Mark II lifts and things that we're building. We look... I'll just top up our stocks on a few other things. We used a few steel beams. We've used no tubes. We've used a few encased beams. When I go to make the next level of the factory, I am going to want to make sure I have lots of concrete. I ran into the problem before where I didn't have enough cable. Top off our stocks of wire. Refill our iron rod. And refill our iron plate. That should do pretty well. I think we're ready to go back at it. Ooh, I just realized that some of our windows don't extend down the proper level. Now I need to make sure I stay in this white area because that means I should be safe from my own trucks. And those trucks are delivering coal, which I'm going to have to tap into a little bit for the steel required for the stators. I'm not too much, I think, but a little bit. I think we're going to run around that first floor and make sure the other walls are brought to the same window standard as well, because it looks like they're not. Go. More windows. See if we can get that consistent aesthetic on this building. Now I just have to do the back here. It's fine to have electrical conductors on glass, right? Lots of windows, lots of light, and later on, lots of ways for light to go out too, because I intend to use this factory as a spot to start playing around with interior lighting to add that little extra glow to the place, make it look that much nicer. But before I can let myself do that, that's right, I still need to hook that up. Don't think I actually need, in practicality, that support there. So I'm going to hop underneath. There's a couple of things going to go on here. First, we no longer need the remnants of that old bridge. Okay, I think I got it all. But we're going to slowly destroy the landscape. Some people use a logistics sub-level. Apparently, I'm just in the mood to use an entire logistics level. Honestly, I don't think I need this line of poles anymore. I just need to make sure that the connections out here are going to them. I suppose the easiest way to check is just do this. Nope. There is definitely still some power going through this. So for now, I'll hook that in there. That should cover it, and now I should be able to remove the end near the factory, and we can remove more of it later as that highway out there gets completed with the service ramps. There we go. Moving relics of an older age. As you can tell from looking around here, I don't like to just have all my factories kind of floating there. It bugs me a little bit. So I do like to actually try to use the column supports. Now, since I use the direct corner there, these ones in by 1 and 1. And I'm going to do the same on this one here. Now, what can I do with corners of this? The other corner of this. That one's already supported. This corner is not supported yet. And I have made quite the tangle here. I wonder if I could reasonably... Oh, that doesn't clip very bad. That looks okay. Better than having an unsupported area, at least, in my mind. Okay. Now, where were we? Getting a here. There's my standard layout that I like to use. And there we go. And now, because we'll put the output down below, we can do that. Hook that in, and now I won't wonder later on what on earth is going on. Why are those all gone red? Getting no power. Did I break something? Well, the answer is probably yes, but that's fine. So the answer is yes, I definitely did break something, because they're not cross-linked. There we go. Now they're cross-linked. And those are back to showing yellow instead of red. Perfect. Okay. Quick stretch here because it's still before 7 in the morning local time, and I'm not yet used to being up on this schedule. Right. Now, right, I needed to go back upstairs and finish what I was doing there. Because before I had run out of the reinforced plates I needed for my Mark II stuff, where I was wiring airports. So I was giving it thought, and we need 600 a minute from these lines downstairs, which is which in theory will be 6.5 of these assemblers. We need a little bit upstairs, so I'm wondering if I just add one extra assembler to the row, or to each run, and then I siphon off with a splitter a little bit from each line, and take that somewhere else, and use that for the stators. I'm just going to go downstairs and double check look at my math requirements again here. How much wire do I need for these 480? Yeah, okay. If I add one extra assembler to the end of each line, that's going to be 90 times 4, which is 360. But I also know I have about half an assembler extra. So if ahead of the second assembler in each line I put a splitter, and I'm basically collecting 1.5 assemblers per line, worth of output, then that's 135 per minute for line, which is 400, 520, 540 per minute potentially, which satisfies our need. So that would mean one more assembler at the end, and then a splitter here on all the lines to collect it. I think I can do that pretty easily and pretty reasonably. Okay. Oh, right. So this needs to go to wired in there. Autosave always catches me a little bit off guard. Okay. And yes, we don't actually need a higher mark output for these because these are making 90 per minute wire and a Mark II logistics belt or lift takes 120. And the inputs, a Mark II is still massively overkill here. Debo! Actually, I did Destiny 2 last night again, and I will probably be turning all of my evening streams, that's Monday to Wednesday, into Destiny 2, I think, and doing SatisFactory early in the morning. So if you'd like to join me tonight, I'd be happy to have people in the fire team. I think I've got a couple of other new people that saw the stream last night and picked up Destiny that might or might not be with us. But I can certainly try to keep up with you and not run a, plodding blueberry sniper stream through everything. Yeah, we'll try to move at your speed. And I'll realize just how far I have to come. Half speed. So what you're saying is that instead of running gun, you will walk and gun. Pretty much. Well, hopefully I can get up to speed soon. Um, Running around now with the submachine gun, I'm relying on that a lot more. I will say that when I'm solo, I'm trying to break myself of snipe around every corner, but I'm not quite at the hurl myself recklessly into danger through every unknown door yet. I'll get there, I'm sure. I did get I think it's the first mission of the armor synthesis line done last night, so I've got my synthweave ornaments available. Yeah, that was an interesting one to solo everything through. Okay. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm hoping that if I can do Destiny consistently in the evenings, I'm just finding it, you know, far more attractive to do the shooters after a day of office work than I had ever expected. I actually really enjoy my job, but still, there's something just cathartic from going from sitting at a desk all day to running around shooting things up with frantic FPS energy. At the same time, first thing in the morning when I'm still nursing my first coffee, SatisFactory is a great speed. Just casually run around and connect things together at my own pace. But it is definitely great to see you show up here. I don't actually know much about what time zone or anything you operate on, so what did I just do there? But for me, this is a roll out of bed, grab a coffee, and fire up the stream sort of thing. Okay. So now, I was saying that for the math here to work, I need to put a splitter out there. And then I need to put a splitter about here. Now, where am I going to mount the mergers? Operate on the Debo time zone, basically. Okay. I mean, I understand that. It is the internet, and you never know who's listening, or watching, or plotting and scheming. Okay. Gotta get it from her. There's our splitter to our new point here. Do the same on this side. All right. So that's our two siphons of finished material. No. Let's see, if I want to put this, let's say here. I need to make sure it's back one there, which means the actual turn is one that way, one that way. That's where I need the support. Just to make the turn a nice, neat 90 degrees. Do you play SatisFactory at all, Debo? Not much. Oh, fair enough. It is a, admittedly, very different style of game than shooters like Destiny. So certainly not everybody's cup of tea, or coffee, or Pepsi, as one of our other friendly favorite streamers who we both know who we're referring to might prefer. Compared to Minecraft with an intense amount of mods. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's certainly that same kind of freeform building. Okay, so that's going to be stators down, which means that I need to plot my wires up, which can be there. I'm going to hop up a floor. Whee! And put an output here so that when I link it on the level below, it does what I need it to do. Couple little quick puffs of the jetpack there to avoid the fall damage. So they do have, let's call it wildlife that's, I just went up a floor too far, darn it. Wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. They've got their wildlife in, and it will attack you, and pretty much every resource node has something guarding it at this point. So there is some combat there. Step in the right direction. Yep. I think that Coffee Stain Studios, the developer, has mentioned that their intention is to keep this as a chill, quote-unquote, game. And that seems to mean that they intend, I guess, to kind of, how to put it, I think so that you don't really have to worry about being attacked directly. So that when it's basically your choice when to go out and engage in those sorts of more active combat and things. I don't want to push the conflict onto you. stick one of these here. That should be about the right spot. There we go. And now I can stick. It's not perfectly straight there, but it's close enough that I'm not going to be too heartbroken. There we go. That'll take those two lines, outputs, the siphoned off point, put it up to the next level where I'm going to be making stators. So now I have to replicate this array over here, and then wire my inputs in for it. And then my next level up is, I guess, going to be see how much of the stators and its feeder production I can all manage to stick on one floor. I think the requirement is low enough that I can probably get it all in one floor there. But we'll have to see. Or I can make the building look really wacky by suddenly having a change in footprint and just have like one little tower go off the top of it or something. I'm not sure. We'll get there soon. So these are going to turn around. But first, let's get power lines dealt with. So I'll be doing about another half hour or so until it's so about an hour and a half stream in the mornings here. And then unfortunately I do actually have to get ready for my day job. As much as many of us wish that, you know, playing games and things could replace full-time employment, it's just not there yet. Oh man, you play games and get paid. I wish I was in that point. I have a ways. Oh. Well, I mean, that would do it. It would also explain why you're so much better than me at Destiny, other than the fact that, you know, I'm pretty shiny new player. But I also know that it's rarely as simple as that. Even those who do work for development companies, they don't just play the games for fun all day and get a paycheck for it. There's usually something more involved. At least I'd like to think so, because otherwise I have totally missed my calling. Okay. Just making sure I haven't missed a power line here. Okay. Yep. Let's pull that out to there, so that's not going to clip wires through quite as many things as blatantly. There we go. Paste in my chosen recipe. Yeah, a lot does go on in a dev team for games, and often, from my understanding, by the time you get a playable product, if you're playing it, it's because you're trying to reproduce a particular bug, or you're endlessly replaying a level to see, okay, what perspectives can we get on this, and what do we need to add to it to make it look good? Because if somebody goes off the beaten path, oh, oops, they just jumped onto something we didn't mean them to jump on, and now they can see that up here there's just nothing. Okay, so that's all of our assemblies placed and wired and recipeed. I'm going to start with the outputs here. Hey now, let's be nice to Fallout. The basic pistol usually works. And so does the club or stun baton you usually start with. That's usually okay. I won't say always, but usually. No, be nice to Fallout. What did Fallout... Do I want to know how Fallout hurt you, Debo? Is that a question I should be asking? Or is this going to unleash a horror story, oh, of proportions that only Bethesda could achieve? I will say that at one point I got into a particular mod for Fallout, and then I was producing a lot of content for it. So, especially for Fallout 4, I am quite familiar with, let's say, its quirks. Level 200 Fallout saves wiped due to the save correction. Oh, that's pretty harsh. I don't suppose that you tried some of the recovery tools and such that have been posted on the workshop by enterprising self-coders. Also, if you were at level 200, which was bigger, your level or your mod list? Vanilla save file at level 200? Okay. Mad props there. That takes dedication. Sorry, having spent a lot of time in a community that was based around and produced a mod, it was very common to see excessive mod lists. Truly excessive mod lists. All right. That is the outputs from one side done. Now I've placed these so close to the edge that these conveyor lists are fine and they don't clip as long as the machine is next to a window. But when it lines up to the actual default wall thickness, I get the soft clip warning. The only game I mod is Skyrim because it needs them. I saw an interesting little meme that somebody made, or GIF that somebody made the other day. Posted a link to it up in my own Discord here that you'll see mentioned periodically as, there we go, as Streamlab handily flogs all the different places on social media that I am. But if you appreciate SatisFactory and you appreciate Skyrim, you may enjoy it. Now, I'll finish wiring up this line. And then I think it's going to be time for me to probably refresh materials before I bother to go and try to do all the inputs and then my next level of factory. So you'll be able to see some of the main plaza. Okay. Right, so these two spots here are where the wire that I'm making goes down to the level below. I am not going to worry about trying to make things 90-degree perfect over here. At a certain point, there is just a nuts to perfect angles sense. Get this ceiling mount up. grab the splitter. Put it into there. This one, it's long enough that it's going to look really weird if I don't do that 90-degree thing, so. Let's see here. So, right before that, okay. That should work. Now I don't actually need that extra amount there. Okay, and our wire siphon is done. Okay, so I've got about 15 minutes here before the end of the stream. I have all the input wiring here to do, and then I need to go from the second and third ones here, which is copper ingots and deuterium ingots. I need to go up and then split them and feed them into the inputs of these machines. This factory is certainly taking me a long enough time, because there's just so much in it. Of how as the factories get big, it can actually take time for things to render in, so I can hook things up while it's still invisible. Okay, there we go. And I see that we've got somebody else watching here. It's good to pick up some viewers here. Great to see people coming out in the morning. So if you're new and you've just found the channel, I am Theriton and this is Ice Peak Gaming. I'm currently streaming SatisFactories in this time slot in the mornings. Kind of Monday to Friday is the intention, and I'm going to be I've just been changing over my evening slot that I used to be doing SatisFactory in to be Destiny. There's that wonderful end of the day wind down by blowing stuff up. So right now we're working on automated wiring. So this is a facility to make the alternate copper wire recipe that requires deuterium input, because it ends up requiring a lot less raw materials. And since I only have Mark IV belts and Mark II miners, I have to still be careful of how much I'm using. ran out of my reinforced iron plates. Guess I'll have to go downstairs. And then take a drive into my main resource area. Grab some more iron plates here. Obviously, I underestimated just how much I was going to use. I'll have to refill on a bunch of things later, but I can do that at the start of tomorrow's stream. So right now, I'd really just like to get a solid point finished here. Of course, if you're watching and you like what you see and you haven't yet, do drop a follow so you can get notified of the next stream. Love to see people coming back and having familiar faces over time. So tonight I'll be pulling off some time in Destiny 2 in just over 12 hours from now at about 8 p.m. Pacific, which is 11 p.m. Eastern. Do a couple of hours of Destiny 2 and see if at some point I can cease to be quite so much of a scrub. And yes, these conveyor lifts and splitters should be connecting, because as you can see, it auto snaps to the right direction, which is usually an indication that it picks up the attachment point. I was kind of surprised the first time I was seeing it do that, because I thought I would need a little bit more space, but apparently I got lucky. Oh, come on, up we go. A couple more machines to do here. Last pair of assemblers. And then that means that the next thing I need to do is build the next level up of the factory. Or, I guess I have to wire the inputs for these. So I've got it ready to be split, but I don't actually have the ingot lines to go to them. All right. Now, I know that. Come on. Snap. Those are going to be key points there. Now this one, that is my iron ore line in, so that has to go up a level. That is my coal line in, so that has to go up a level. go, that's connected up. And that's connected up once they render in. So I've got to take these two lines, have to go up to those conveyors and those conveyors. So what I probably want to do here if I do that, does that line up nicely enough? Does. Which way is that's going to be coming from? Guess that'll work. I think that's going to be the right height. I think that'll connect. And we'll just do kind of the ugly freeform snapping for now until I've proved to myself that it does actually work. Okay, so that should be Deuterium and copper ingots wired. Iron ore and coal passing through for steel production on the next level. And that is going to be the wires going up to the next level. Where I can make stators. However, I am going to need a spot for the stators to come back down. And that should do it. Okay. I think this level of the factory is done. And that's perfect because that's a wrap for our stream time today. So I'll start by giving you a quick little peek from up here. We've got highways with automated trucks running back and forth on them. That's a coal power plant and compacted coal area up there that you can see the green of. You can just see another highway here running out into the distance. That goes over to an oil processing area and my main power plant right now. Over on the other side, we'll be able to see where Jactress is currently starting to build a highway out to her quartz mining area. Have a great day, Debo. I look forward to Destiny tonight. Have yourself a great day. And then in the center area here is where I have been building factories for each specific thing. Generally, each one of these builds a space elevator part or similar. However, I will leave this here now because it is time for me to end the stream. So thank you for watching. This is Theriton for Ice Peak Gaming, and we'll see you tonight for SatisFactory, and tomorrow morning, tonight for Destiny, and tomorrow morning for SatisFactory. Have a great night.